Hello everyone. In this video we will see how to create custom validators in MVC. Say here I have my model employee and I'm validating my screen, or you can say the employee creation form, with my meta. So I have employee name, salary, date of birth, gender, department ID, and I have applied required field validation, and I have also applied this metadata type to the class TBL employee. So already we have seen this in our recent video. So this is very simple. Now I'm going to execute this. So it should perform validation whenever I'm going to create an employee. Now here it is going to create employee. Now what I want, instead of employee name, I want to use email, or instead of employee name I'll give email address. So I need to rename this as email. So how do I do that? If I rename it on this screen, it is going to reflect on many screens like here, or whenever I go for edit like here. So I can do one thing. I can use one more attribute, that is this, that is display name. Display name is an attribute which is available in system.component model. So it will display ename as email. It is kind of aliasing. So everywhere, wherever I use ename, it will replace it with email. You can see this email. If I click this, see email here. If I say details, you can see email here. If I say delete, you can see email here, or if I say create, you can see email here. So let me go with an email. I'll say info@ ManzoorTheTrainer.com is the email, and salary 7,000, and date of birth some 9/9/84, and mail some department ID 101. Now I'll say create. So it has created this successfully. Now I'll go for create new. Now if I say create, see this, it is validating. We have already done this, and it is also saying that this email field is required. If I create info@ ManzoorTheTrainer, that means I'm going to create one more employee with same email address. It should validate this. So this is my business requirement, that email should be unique. As I do not have email address field in the table, I'm just assuming this field as email, and let us implement that. Let us see how to implement a custom validator to achieve business requirement or business rules validation. To do that, I need to override a method of class validation. So I need to implement a method. So I'll just go for public class. I'll name it as unique email attribute. It is going to inherit validation attribute, and in this I'm going to override a method. It is nothing but public override. I'm going to override the method is valid, and you can see that the return type is validation result. Return type is validation result. So I need to check whether the value, whatever I'm getting, is valid or not. So anyway, as of now, let us put this as is and save this, and I'll put a breakpoint over here, and I'm going to write this new attribute unique email and save this. Just I want to check whether my control is reaching that point or not. I'll say create new. I'll just go for mail department 101. I'll say create. Now you can see that because I have applied this attribute over here, my control is reaching this point. And let us see what is the value. The value it is taking as by default info@ManzoorTheTrainer.com. That means I'm getting value over here. Now here I need to write my logic and check whether this value exists in DB or not. So that logic is very simple. So I have already written that logic. View toolbox, and I'll simply remove this and I'll drag and drop this code. You can see that I'm creating organization DB entity object, and I'm reading email address that is from value, and I'm just trying to count where so and so. If count is not equals to 0, that means if it is 1 2 3, or if it exists, if count is not equals to 0 means what, email already exists, else it is successful. I'll save this, and I have applied this unique email attribute over here. Save this. Let me execute this. I'll say create new. Go for info salary. So it should say that this email already exists. Let me put a breakpoint, and I'll say create. So it has reached this point. Now I'll put one more breakpoint over here. I'll say 5. Now you can see the count is 1. That means it already exists, so it should display this message, say F5. So it says email already exists. So this is my custom validator, and this is what I am validating my business rule. So I'll stop this. So we have successfully implemented our custom validators. Create new, info (101). Now it should validate this. So it is validating. If I write info1, it should insert this. So that's it. This is all about your custom validators in MVC. Thank you very much.